Yes, folks, hello. Welcome once again to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. I'm Chris. This is my channel. Absolute pleasure to have you with me here today. As I'm sure some of you will know, I was at MCM London Comic Con this weekend, and one of the main driving forces for my visit to that convention was to go check out the Hasbro stall and go visit the Hasbro panel and hopefully meet some interesting Hasbro people. And I did, folks. I got an opportunity to meet the one and only Lenny Panzica. I hope I pronounced your surname correctly, Lenny. I'm sure many of you are aware, but Lenny is a design manager over at Hasbro working on the G.I. Joe classified line. So, of course, a very exciting individual for me to meet. And I know many of you folks will have seen him on the G.I. Joe classified series, live streams and Fan First Fridays and all that good stuff. And because the guy's an absolute legend, and generous beyond measure, he hooked me up. The interviews were by appointment. I may or may not have had a few beers. It was a weekend off. I wasn't dad's taxiing the kids around. I was having a good time. I might have had a few beers from my lunch and maybe one or two later on in the afternoon. And I just, because I was feeling a bit loose and a bit overconfident, I said to Lenny, I'd love to get in on this interview stuff. And the dude was like, well, PR guys are over there. Let's sort you out. And they did. They absolutely did. So I've got some on-camera time with Lenny, but I will say that combination of giddiness and excitement getting to talk to Lenny on camera, no less, for my channel, along with the couple of beers and then just generally the kind of community atmosphere at the hall means that it's not my best work, if I'm being perfectly honest. This interview is, frankly, only as good as it is because Lenny is such a pro. He dragged me through it. Patience of a saint. If you watch me carefully, you'll see me swaying. And towards the back end of the interview, there's a couple of cuts. I literally forgot a question I asked a follow-up, and ended up taking us on a weird tangent. And Lenny was like, dude, where's this going? I was like, I don't know, you're right. And it was only because Lenny knew and took me back. And if you watch me, you'll see me swaying and I ramble a bit and stuff. So, yeah, a bit unprofessional, not my best work. I feel a little bit sheepish and embarrassed, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I must say a massive thank you to Lenny, a massive thank you to Julia there over on the Hasbro Pulse stall because, well, I make a joke at the outset saying if you're long-haired, British and drunken enough hanging around their stall, they'll give you an interview to get rid of you, which is a joke, not true. I wouldn't encourage that. In fact, I'd discourage you doing that. From my own experience. So yeah, I'm not fantastic at this. I didn't even ask him about the new reveals that we'd had at the panel that morning. I just verbally diarrheaed some questions that have been on my mind about G.I. Joe, and like I say, a bit rambling. I've got to be straight up. I've had to edit some bits at the back end of the interview because we went off on some weird trails and it was all my doing. I was all over the place. I hadn't prepared, and because it was in the moment, I just kind of went for it. I've watched it back. I think it turns out all right, but you let me know in the comments down below. Lenny basically dragged me through my own interview, if I'm being honest. And if you watch it, you can see him constantly bringing me back to actually just talk about the figures themselves. Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed. Feeling a bit sheepish about it. But nonetheless, here you go. Enjoy. Here is me and Lenny having a chat about G.I. Joe Classified series at the MCM London Comic Con on Saturday afternoon. Okay, folks, well, ask and ye shall receive. You saw my photos yesterday with my man Lenny, my beard bro. He said, when are you going to interview Lenny? I said, I know it's by appointment only, but it turns out if you're long-haired and drunken and English enough around their stall, they'll give you an interview, if only to get rid of you. So, folks,
how's it going?
Here is my man Lenny.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. The pleasure is mine. There's no question about it. So, Lenny, I've only got a small channel, but they're a small but dedicated community around the G.I. Joe stuff.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, they love you guys and they love the work that you do. We're very, very excited about the stuff that you put out all the time. We've been looking at the panel reveals already today, but I'm running off script. I've not prepared any questions. I'm just going to ask you a few things that have been on my mind around the line for a little while now.
Sure.
So, when it's wide and deep, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, very.
You got comic books, you got, IDW, Devil's Due, the old Marvel stuff, Marvel UK, which we were chatting about yesterday, Sunbow cartoon, DIC cartoon, movies, live action stuff. How do you decide what goes next in the next wave?
So, I love it. That's why I love Comic-Con. That's why Comic-Con is awesome. We usually, with a new character or bringing a new character in a line, I always start with toy.
Okay.
Real American Hero is usually the root of where I'll pull the design from.
Sure.
Because I feel like it kind of bridges all the gaps.
Yeah.
Because through comic, through story, through cartoon, they're designed a particular way for the scene or for the archetype the narrative they're gonna go on.
Yeah.
So I try to pull it to the root of toy, and then from toy, push it into classified.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and then if it's from toy to retro card back.
Yeah.
And in some cases, if we've done it already, retro card back's actually candidate for, if it was in the cartoon, do that version in retro card back.
Okay, so the retro combat thing's interesting to me. One of the things that I've criticized you for before is, and I don't mean that.
Sure, yeah.
But this idea that what's mainline, what's retro card back, what's deluxe, how do you make those decisions? Recondo would be a great example.
Yeah.
So we got mainline Tiger Force Recondo, then he came in his classic look in the retro card back. How do you define those lines? How do you make your decisions around that type of thing?
I think he was just a good candidate for retro card back, and I think the sculpt was in a place where it could be a retro card back.
Okay.
So that's where the decision was made to put him on that card. Plus it's Recondo and retro card back, so he looks sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay, brilliant. I hijacked you with that one. Look at it.
No, you're not hijacking me. You're good. You're good. No. Let me tell you something. I've had some hard questions before.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
What was the hardest question you've ever had?
Top of mind? I don't want to say anything that is not right, but I would say like asking things that I really can't answer, like logistics, costing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask you about that anyway.
It's kind of against company policy and all that.
I'm less interested in that sort of stuff. Let me ask you about Road Pig.
Oh, yeah.
So Road Pig's a great figure. I love it. I know for some, the baby face was a little bit of a challenge. I loved it. I was all over it. Great figure. Photographed him loads. Played with him a ton. He was my desk figure for a long time. But he's a unique book in the line.
Oh, yeah.
So where'd you go with that? What's next for Road Pig? I know you can't tell me about future product, but I know you guys like
Road Pig, so Road Pig's interesting. We wanted him to be a power lifter.
Yeah.
So in the comics, he was a little bit of a, for lack of a better word, kind of an Adonis body. So he should be a thick, giant human.
Yeah, he looks great.
And he needs to look like he deadlifts like 1,000 pounds. So we went with the thicker trunk, thicker torso. That makes him very unique, right? But G.I. Joe's the kind of line where you have Ghost Vipers.
Yep.
You have Grim Vipers.
Yes.
You have Budo with his samurai armor on.
I love Budo, man.
Thank you. He's one of my favorite.
Honestly, spent hours with this guy.
Awesome.
Love him. Yeah.
Awesome.
My pre-order came just recently, and again, desk figures. That's how I roll. I work from home, playing with my figures.
That's
on
cool.
Teams calls, off camera, obviously.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? I'm posing. Thank you.
I've spent hours with Budo.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Great to hear. But I think with that body and what we're looking to do with the line going forward is introducing new characters, introducing new iterations of characters. So the buck can be used again. It's just a matter of what story can we tell? What new story can we tell? And perhaps there is older stuff we could pull from with that body type.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, great. I've been racking my brain to try and think where Road Pig might...
And I'll say this too, sometimes...
Oh, hello, there you go. Another staff member.
Sometimes you've got to go all in. Like Pythona.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah.
That's Pythona. That body is only Pythona.
I don't know if I mentioned this to you when we were chatting yesterday. So for me here in the UK, I was introduced to G.I. Joe through the Marvel UK Action Force comics. Read Battle Action Force, then moved on to the Action Force UK comics. I'd never seen a cartoon until later on. The first cartoon I saw, it's always that same guy as well.
They're doing the Beyblade stuff, so it gets crazy.
The Beyblade's been mental.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But the first cartoon I ever saw was G.I. Joe the movie, which was called Action Force the movie that I picked up on VHS.
Oh, cool.
So I've got just such this warm nostalgia. I just love that crazy 80s camp. Well, that's the same with Transformers. We've got Transformers cartoons over here, but they just repeated them.
Somebody was telling me they were like knocked down to 5-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Came over here.
Yeah, so we would get, I mean, this won't mean anything to you, but ITV for the UK viewers, they would show them on, we'd have this little hour, 4 till 5, which was like the cartoon hour.
Yeah.
And they just, if you weren't getting a repeat episode you saw over and over again, Thundercats, G.I. Joe,
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Then
you just get these little snippets all the time. So you'd have to pick them up on VHS. The VHS would be limited. So G.I. Joe the movie, I've got a massive soft spot for, and that Pythona fucking nailed it.
Yes.
Absolutely nailed it.
Oh, the figure. I thought you were talking about in the movie, but thank you. Thank you.
I love the movie, because that initial scene where she's raiding the base.
That's the scene.
And your whole...
When she shows up with the four-headed moray eel,
amazing.
it's like four-headed moray eel weapon. Amazing. Yeah.
And the masks on the face, and for a 7-year-old kid, that's like...
It's intense and very unique.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever seen another character that's like Pythona.
No.
Like, she's wearing a biotech bodysuit, and then the cloak is, I always interpreted that's made out of, like, on the figure we did what's called the heat press.
Okay.
And the heat press gives it like a pattern, and that was to make it look like manta ray skin.
Sure.
So some sort of impervious shark skin armor kind of thing. That's what Cobra La does.
Love it, all that stuff.
But like, talk about innovative at the time it came out, right? So, and we wanted to do it justice here, so hopefully we did.
Yeah, you really have. Well, I mean, I can't speak for all my viewers, but I certainly really, really enjoyed it. We've also got the Royal Guard coming down the pipeline as well. Everyone's eagerly anticipating Globulus. Does that round up Cobra La, or?
I mean, for me, Cobra La, there's a lot. It's a whole society.
Absolutely.
I mean, a society of bio-enhanced humans that have reptile connotations living under Antarctica.
Yeah.
There's a lot you could do with that.
It's balmy, man.
And you guys probably have seen the Energon universe with the Cobra Commander comic, what they're doing with it.
Over in Void Rivals as well, big presence there. Yeah.
It's wonderful. And I think like there's a lot of the denizens that are there. There's Cobra Commander when he's wearing his scientist outfit. Like, there's a lot that you could tap into. And I can't speak to future figures or what we're going to do, but I think there's a lot of inspiration there. And I personally, I know it's controversial, I love Cobra La. So, hi.
Sorry. That's okay.
It makes it more real. It's awesome. No, it's great. It's great. It's awesome.
Raw and authentic.
I love it. I love it. But I think there's things to pull from. And like, I would like to do every figure that got made into a classified figure. That spans from Real American Hero, into Sigma 6, into 25th Anniversary, into Pursuit of Cobra. These are all, G.I. Joe is a line that's always been inspired.
Yes.
So I'd love to do that. And I'd love to do characters that never got figures.
Oh, awesome.
Right? So Pythona never had a figure. So we were able to do that here. Right? So who else was supposed to have a figure but never got there?
Yeah.
So I'd love to tap into that as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's really exciting. Let me ask you very quickly then about the creation of new characters.
Yeah.
One of the things I've spoken about on the channel a few times is, you know, the Grim Viper, the Ghost Viper more recently.
Yeah.
You know, this Wolf Spider.
Yeah.
You know, this idea, I think I heard you say on a stream previously, this kind of new generation of G.I. Joe. Where do you go with that? How do you build that picture of something new that's got the Lenny stamp on it?
It's kind of a mix, like a cauldron, if you would, of like ingredients. So it's like, in case of Grim Viper, it kind of, when you think about how range vipers work, there probably would be a heavy.
Yeah.
Right? And we needed a troop builder for the wave. So like throughout the year, we'll kind of bake in a certain amount of troop builders, what's good for the collector, what's good for the IP. So in the case of Grim Viper, like we need like a heavy unit character that's handling a heavy weapon. So like it would be kind of awesome if the Range Viper had a heavy unit.
Yeah.
And it serves an archetype.
Looks great. That's cool.
Yeah, I love in the white too, it like pops too. And that, and there's also a little bit of the rule of cool. Like the rule of cool a little bit, like what cool colorways will work on that mold. So like, so the Ghost Viper, we introduced Crystal Ball. And Crystal Ball, if you think about it, is probably the most powerful Cobra.
Oh, he's amazing.
He can mind control people. So we played on the whole idea, like he's just not mind controlling, he's using dire tech.
Yeah.
And then he's infused. So if he can mind control people, he obviously has Cobra Troopers that he mind control. And then he's giving them his ability to do the dire tech and create apparitions.
The whole,
the claws.
He's not coming for a couple of weeks over here. I know the guys over in the States have been getting theirs, but I'm so excited.
I've been seeing the pictures. I love seeing the photography. It's like my favorite thing.
Do you know with Crystal Ball, what I particularly love? Did you ever...
Actually, I think it'll be a meme every time, like, because you keep on going like...
Did you ever read the IDW continuity?
A little bit. I'm not so familiar with it.
Crystal Ball in there, he's got this crazy...
Oh, that's right. He's a little more...
He's got the clawed fingers and stuff.
Actually,
I'm just saying, hint.
I actually pulled... So originally, I haven't posted it yet, but I was going to put his concept art up.
Oh.
Originally, I had pulled some of reference. So I'll pull reference and like what's the best way to combine this character into a classified. And I loved all of his jewelry.
Yeah, he had all that, that kind of
and he had the ratty,
gothy stuff
and
going
the
on.
ratty hair.
Yeah,
So
like,
from that,
Charles Manson kind of stuff, like serial killer shit.
Yeah. So from that's where he derived all the kind of like the occult tattoos all over him, because the Dyer tech's connected to something a little deeper.
Yes.
Right. So that's where the claw came in. So it's like he's used as kind of part of how his tech is working, like this playing up that whole idea of this character is using something a little more than tech. And I also wanted him to feel asymmetrical. So one hand's bare with all the rings on it, and the other one's gauntleted.
Yeah.
So, and we did look at that
as well.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely
with
touch.
the Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I love it. One of the things, as we're coming to the close of the year, a lot of us YouTubers, our headspace is in the figure of the year kind of videos. You know, you've seen the sort of stuff. And got to tell you, man, Voodoo and Crystal Ball, I'm struggling to make a decision. I will do by the time Christmas comes around, but I love it. I love that.
That's awesome, man.
Crazy shit.
It's very flattering to hear.
Well, so there's a lot of guys out in the community who are military line guys.
Yeah.
But I'm your guy who likes your balmy, mad 80s campy shit.
Yeah.
You know, the weirder, the wonderfuler for me. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Taking note.
Take it down. Yeah. Because they're out there. These guys are out there. We love just the crazy shit.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about G.I. Joe. It kind of serves multiple fandoms. Like actually the interview was on top of a cage, a case with scorpions in it, the desert scorpions in it.
As well,
but like we're kind of bridging a gap or bridging a world with archetypes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have hyper military, sci-fi military, like you have the Grim Viper, but then you have Hit and Run, who's like a mountaineer.
Yes.
Or you have the Desert Scorpions, which is like high sci-fi, but with the military touch.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of the essence of the brand, but we're always trying to tap onto those archetypes that we think our community will be into.
Yeah. Brilliant. So. Yeah. Well, we are. And I think you maybe don't hear from us weirdos quite as much as you hear from the the guys who give you shit about putting magazines in back to front and stuff in the displays. So yeah, wonderful. Okay, I'll give you, we've been going for a while. I've been taking up a lot of your time. I'll just give you kind of one last question.
Sure.
But I'm processing and trying to think what that question should be.
Loading.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that you know, you can imagine from my perspective. You're this sort of mythical guy from over the ocean who I see on streams. You're a celebrity.
Mythical is
you're a celebrity.
A strong word.
And I've had this opportunity, and then I posted a picture with you yesterday, and some of my guys in my community were like, "Got to get him on camera, Chris." I'm like, by appointment only, all that stuff. And now I've got you. I'm like, oh shit. What do I actually ask him?
Let's just talk about toys.
Yeah, just talk about toys.
Yeah.
So, if money was no object, like no budget, no licensor approval, didn't have to run stuff past Emily, whatever, you could go hog wild, do anything you wanted, a figure, just, what would it be?
I would do all of the lunatics.
The lunatic?
They're crazy.
They are crazy.
They are crazy. And some of those designs, I feel like if they were modernized a little bit, a little more cohesive, I think they were incredible the way they were, but now add 1/12 scale articulation, 1/12 scale deco, inkjet printing.
Yeah.
Art. It's like, I think you could take those to a place where from a production value standpoint could be pretty intense looking action figures.
Wow.
Yeah, and the box art was awesome on them.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think they made it out everywhere, but I always remember seeing them in toy books. I mean, like, I need these.
So that wasn't the answer I was expecting. I thought maybe, I don't know, Space Force or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really interested. But that again speaks to that kind of that breadth and depth of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Away.
It spans everywhere.
You know, where you can go.
And that's what's so cool about it, because it's so mission-based.
Yes.
Like, I remember as a kid making missions of my own, of where I was going to take the characters. And I think that's what the designers were doing too. It's like, all right, we've seen Duke, but what's Duke like in the desert? What's Duke like in the jungle? What's Duke like in the Arctic? And then we saw in the cartoon, they're always going in Arctic missions. They're always going in desert missions. Or Cobra La, which is a completely another universe.
Out there, man.
Yeah. So, you know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Watch and see. We can't speak about new products.
Yeah, can't talk about future product.
we got PR folks.
Yeah.
But the line is really exciting, man.
Thanks, man.
It's really exciting. I love it. I hope it's got years and years and years of life in it. I
I know you didn't expect to come to the UK and find someone like locked and loaded, ready to just talk G.I. Joe.
I'll talk G.I. Joe all day if I could.
For the guys who watch my channel, you know, they love what you do. They love you. They love Tony. They love Emily.
Thanks, guys.
Whenever
Appreciate
you guys
it.
do a live stream, I do like a little post live stream review. The comments are always glowing, positive.
Awesome.
They think you're excellent. So all that remains to say is thank you very much, Lenny, for the time today.
Thanks for having me.
No, of course.
Thanks, guys.
And hopefully we'll meet again soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, my dude. Thanks.
So there we go, folks. There was my time with Lenny. I hope you did find those insights interesting. I certainly found them interesting, even though, like I said, I didn't even get around to asking him about the female Crimson Guard or Crazy Legs or Zap or anything like that, which just, honest to God, I had a look at Dan Hu's interview and I was like, oh my God, this guy's such a pro and I'm just like such a shambling amateur. But nonetheless, I'd like to say thank you once again to Lenny and thank you to the guys on the PR team. Honestly, so lovely, so accommodating. Just some random dude turning up saying, I'd like to film you, please. And they were like, yeah, you bet. No worries at all. Sorted me out, like helping me out with camera angles and where's a good spot. Obviously, it turned out not to be such a good spot, but nonetheless. And Lenny, I can tell you, it really is as solid and as awesome a dude as he comes across on camera and as folks have told me, you know, who I speak to who've met him in the States. So there we go. Thank you very much, Lenny. Thank you very much, Hasbro Pulse and the Hasbro Pulse PR guys over at the MCM London Comic Con. Looking forward to hearing what you've got to say in the comments down below, folks. Keep an eye out. I'm going to do a kind of wider MCM London overview, but I've got a lot of B-roll footage to kind of cut up and edit in. So I'd love to see you back around these parts for that sometime soon. But in the meantime, have yourselves a great day. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll catch you next time. All right? See you later.